Hello students, this is Dr. Priya Singh from Department of Homeopathic Pharmacy, and today's topic is physiological action of Crotalus horridus. So before we start this topic, we need to first understand what is the meaning of physiological actions. So what proving symptoms or symptoms in materia medica are basically elicited when potentized medicine is taken. जब भी हम potentized medicine को हेल्दी ह्यूमन बींग्स पे देते हैं और उसके एक्शंस को ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, वो हमारी होम्योपैथिक मटीरिया मेडिका बनाता है. But here the concept is different. Physiological actions are those actions which are actions of the raw drug on the human body. So basically आप physiological action को allopathic materia medica से भी compare कर सकते हो. Physiological actions basically वो actions हैं drugs के जो basic physiology of human body को affect करते हैं. So these actions are mainly observed through toxicology or through poisonings. So I hope now you know what are physiological actions. So let's move on to the physiological action of Crotalus horridus. Crotalus horridus, as we know, is a medicine from the animal kingdom prepared from the snake venom of the Crotalus horridus. It belongs to the Ophidia group. The zoological name being Crotallina hostridus, and it belongs to the family Crotalaceae. The common names are rattlesnake or banded rattlesnake or timber rattlesnake. So there are approximately 2,700 species of snakes on this planet, out of which 14% are considered venomous or poisonous. So rattlesnake की जो species है, specifically Crotalus species, it comprises of 36 of these species which are poisonous. And these Crotalus snakes are native to North and South America, and it is endemic to the eastern regions of North America. They are also known as pit vipers. Pit vipers also बुलाया जाता है इनको, and they have long fangs. मतलब उनके जो tongue होती है, they are in the form of fangs, and this is how they can bite and deliver enough venom. Now rattlesnake क्यों नाम पड़ा है इसका? Why is the common name rattlesnake? Because it receives their name from the rattle located at the end of their tails, which makes a loud rattling noise when vibrated that deters predators or serves as a warning to passers-by. So rattlesnake नाम इसलिए पड़ा है snake का because इनकी tail के end में एक rattle located होता है, और rattle को आप simple language में समझ सकते हो, a loud rattling noise making substance. जैसे कि you might have seen babies को attention seek करने के लिए या babies को to make them aware of the noises and all, हम rattle toys देते हैं to play. So the concept of rattle on a snake is कि ये snake warning sign की तरह इस rattle को shake करता है and एक typical rattling sound produce करता है, which helps the predators or the passers-by to stay away. It also helps as a defense to the snake. Now rattle-like black tail, it contains 6 to 20 depressed horny rings, each ring possessing a tongue-shaped portion posteriorly. And it is made of interlocking rings of keratin, and another ring is added each time the snake sheds its skin. So from birth, this rattle skin tail is not there. There is a small bud, but as the snake grows in age and as it sheds its skin, each time a ring is added. So you can also identify, or you can also judge the age of the snake with the number of rattles it has, or the number of rings it has in the rattles. The snake basically has many primary colorations like black, gray, brown, or yellow, and it is mainly in the form of V shape or M-shaped bands. And typically it ends in a black tail preceding the rattle. So you can appreciate in this photo, I have tried to show that there are scales which are yellow to brown to black with the tail ending in a rattle. The head of the snake is a triangular shaped, and it is so shaped due to the presence of venom gland on both sides of the head. The snake can vary in length, and it measures typically from 36 to 60 inches, and it has an expected lifespan of 16 to 22 years. Talking about the geographical location, I've already told about that they are the natives of North and South America, US. Now, talking about the history of the snake, at the time of the arrival of the colonists to North America in the 17th and 18th centuries, the craneback rattlesnake had a much larger footprint than it does today. So, in the 17th and 18th century, the snake was in large numbers in America at that time. But over the time, the snake's population has been dwindling. These days, animal carries endangered status, and they are believed to be as few as 200 individuals remaining. So currently, presently, this snake is in the is near extinction, and only 200 species or 200 individuals of this species are believed to be living. So currently, this snake is in endangered status. Now, this timber rattlesnake, it plays a very interesting and important role in the history of US. Referring to the snake, a writer believed to be Benjamin Franklin noted that rattlesnake is found in no other quarter of the world besides America. And she never begins an attack, nor once when engaged, he ever surrenders. So Benjamin Franklin wrote about this rattlesnake as these are found nowhere except America. And these snakes have a very different quality that they never begin an attack. They will never attack you from their side. But if they are attacked, once they are engaged in an attack or once they are engaged in a fight, they will never surrender. So keeping these points in point, the colonists, they found these qualities very displaying, and then they had this flag which of yellow color, which was known as the yellow Gadsden flag, and they pasted the picture of this snake on their flag with the phrase "Don't tread on me," which shows that if you stay away, if you don't harm us, we will never begin an attack. But if you hurt us or if you engage us in an attack, then we will never surrender. So this is basically a brief history of this rattlesnake in US. Now, talking about homeopathic history and authority, this Crotalus horridus remedy was first proved by Dr. Constantine Hering. You can see his picture. Then it is also included in the Allen's Encyclopedia Materia Medica Volume 3, Hering's Guidance Symptoms Volume 4, and a Dictionary of Practical Materia Medica by Clark Volume 1. Most complete account of the remedy has been mentioned by J.W. Hayward in his Materia Medica Psychological and Applied, and even Hayward proved this medicine. Now, let's move on to the pharmacological action of the Crotalus horridus medicine. So, pharmacological action or the physiological action, as I've already told about, is the action of the drugs on the physiology of the human body. So, now timber rattlesnake bite. Timber rattlesnake or the Crotalus horridus, they act rapidly and they foremost depict proteolytic and hemolytic properties. So प्रोटियोलाइटिक और हीमोलाइटिक से मीनिंग है प्रोटियोलाइटिक दैट इज lysis of proteins into smaller peptides and amino acids, and hemolytic properties meaning destruction of the RBCs, which will lead to the release of hemoglobin from the within the blood into the plasma. So basically breakdown of proteins and breakdown of RBCs. Now the venom of Crotalus horridus, it acts firstly on the walls of the blood and lymph vessels. तो जहाँ बाइट होता है वहां पे सबसे पहले ये वेनम जाके वॉल ब्लड वेसल्स लिम्फ वेसल्स के वॉल्स को अफेक्ट करता है. It produces intense edema. Intense edema spreads rapidly, and in the wake of it, bleeding into the tissue occurs. So, जिसकी वजह से bleeding भी होने लगती है, and the whole spectrum of discoloration from black, purple, blue to yellow may show. So, जहाँ पे bite होगा, सबसे पहले the venom will go and attack the blood and lymph vessels. Then it will lead to edema, which will lead to bleeding, and which will lead to discoloration of skin from black to purple to blue to yellow. And because of the massive destruction of the red blood cells or the RBCs, since it shows hemolytic properties, it leads to massive destruction of the RBCs. So because of this, the skin and sclera, they become icteric or they become yellow. And it may also lead to bleeding from any orifice of the body. So even from the eyes and ears, bleeding has been seen after the bite of this snake. The blood which flows is dark and remains fluid. So there is bleeding, there is hemorrhage, and the blood type is dark and fluid because this venom inhibits coagulation. जो coagulation और जो clotting का process होता है, this venom inhibits that process. So because of that, the blood which flows is unclotted or in the fluid form. You can appreciate the bites from these photos I have shown over here. You can see how the discoloration is happening, what the kind of blood is flowing, and what level of edema the snake bite produces. Now the venom composition of the snake is very interesting. The venom of this timber rattlesnake, it varies substantially within the species. So इसी Crotalus horridus की अलग-अलग species में इस venom की कई सारी varieties हैं. So after a study in 1992, Glenn categorized the venoms into 4 basic categories, which are type A, neurotoxic, type B, hemotoxic, type A plus B, that means venoms or snakes having both neurotoxic and hemotoxic venom, and the last type is type C. So now let's talk about type A venom. The type A venom is also known as the cranebeck toxin or crotoxin, which contains 2 subunits, the one acidic unit and one basic unit. So crotopotin is the acidic subunit and phospholipase A2 is the basic subunit. Crotopotin is the acidic component which thought to be itself inactive but serves to increase the lethality of the basic subunit phospholipase A2 by chauffeuring to its site of action, increasing its activity by an order of magnitude. Meaning the acidic component, basically जो acidic component है और जो crotopotin है, this is usually inactive state में रहता है, but जो बेसिक सब यूनिट है, जब फॉस्फोलाइपेज A2 है, जब साइट ऑफ एक्शन पे पहुंचता है जहाँ पे क्रोटापोटिन होता है, तो वो उसकी पावर को और या ऑर्डर ऑफ मैग्नीट्यूड को बढ़ा देता है, उसकी लिथैलिटी यानी उसकी पॉइजनसनेस को बढ़ा देता है. Protoxin basically क्या है? It is a beta neurotoxin. So it is a neurotoxin basically affecting the neuro system. And it functions presynaptically. जो न्यूरोमस्कुलर जंक्शन होता है उसमें जो प्री साइनेप्स एंड पोस्ट साइनेप्स होता है, तो प्रीसाइनेप्टिकली एक्ट करता है क्रोटोटॉक्सिन एंड at the neuromuscular junction. So basically what happens is The inhibition of ACH release is due to the breakdown of the cell membrane of the presynaptic neuron by phospholipase A2, diminishing the ability of the neuron to release neurotransmitters. So basically, the breakdown of the cell membranes of the presynaptic neuron happens because of the action of the phospholipase A2, जिसकी वजह से the ACH release is inhibited और the acetylcholine का release जो होता है वो inhibit हो जाता है, which leads to the diminishing the ability of the neuron to release neurotransmitters. मतलब इसके क्योंकि ACH रिलीज नहीं हुआ है, एसिटाइलकोलिन रिलीज नहीं हुआ है, एंड न्यूरॉन विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिलीज न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स. सो ये बेसिकली न्यूरोमस्कुलर जंक्शन पे जाके प्रीसिनेप्टिकली एक्ट करता है. दीज टॉक्सिन्स दे इनहिबिट न्यूरोमस्कुलर ट्रांसमिशन. सो बेसिकली नर्व टू मसल जो ट्रांसमिशन होता है उसको ये इनहिबिट करता है. कैसे? बाय ब्लॉकिंग द कैल्शियम आयन चैनल्स ऑन द प्रीसिनेप्टिक साइड ऑफ द न्यूरोमस्कुलर जंक्शन. न्यूरोमस्कुलर जंक्शन के प्री सिनेप्टिक साइड पे जाके कैल्शियम आयंस को ब्लॉक करता है और न्यूरोमस्कुलर ट्रांसमिशन को इनहिबिट करता है. सो दिस मे लीड टू पैरालिसिस ऑफ द मसल ग्रुप्स. सो बेसिकली neurotoxic action happens over here. This toxin is also found to induce myokainia, which is an involuntary quivering of muscles or muscle fibers in localized areas. ये टॉक्सिन मायोकाइनिया भी इंड्यूस करता हुआ देखा गया है. और मायोकाइनिया क्या है? एक इनवॉलंटरी क्विवरिंग ऑफ मसल्स है. क्विवरिंग या आप क्विवरिंग को सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझ सकते हो एज शिवरिंग या ट्रेम्बलिंग ऑफ मसल्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर लोकलाइज्ड एरिया. You can also understand the whole concept of this type A venom, how it works through this diagram over here. So just concentrate. What happens is, as you can see here, the venom, it acts on the neuronal junction and it leads to neurotoxicity, which happens presynaptically, which I have already told you. It also leads to localized action at the site of the bite. So जहाँ पे bite हुआ है वहाँ पे localized action भी होता है, which basically shows hemorrhage, cytotoxicity and myotoxicity. So वहाँ पे hemorrhage हो रहा है, bleeding हो रही है, cell की toxicity बढ़ रही है, muscles में toxicity हो रही है. Along with this, it leads to hemolysis, which I have already told you, hemolysis, hemorrhage. This snake venom, basically phospholipase A2 or PLA2, it breaks down into two components, which is arachidonic acid and lysophospholipid. So arachidonic acid, basically it acts or along with the prostaglandins, thromboxanes and leukotrienes, produces edema, which I have already shown you in the picture कि कितना massive edema था. Along with that, these produces pharmacological effects. Pharmacological effects, which are myotoxicity, cardiotoxicity, anticoagulant effects, platelet aggregation, convulsions, edema, and along with that, organ tissue damage. The lyophospholipid component, it also helps to produce inflammation along with edema. So I hope now you basically understand type A venom basically क्या क्या करता है. So जो whole picture अभी तक हमने study करी, which was myotoxic, neurotoxic effect of the type A venom, can be easily understood from this image. Now let's move on with type B venom. So type B venom, it contains hemorrhagic and proteolytic activities, or it shows hemorrhagic and proteolytic activities. Basically hemorrhagic वही causing bleeding and proteolytic is breakdown of proteins. So ये type B venom कहीं ना कहीं hemotoxic type का है. Type A venom was neurotoxic जहाँ पे वो nerves पे basically action करता है, and type B is hemotoxic जो basically blood में जाके blood vessels, blood capillaries पे act करता है. Now this venom, type B venom, it contains a zinc dependent metalloproteinase which works by direct destruction of the basement membranes of the capillary blood vessels as well as the nearby extracellular matrix observed microscopically causing hemorrhage. So basically इस venom में क्या है? It contains zinc dependent एक metalloproteinase होता है जो basically काम करता है by destruction of the basement membrane of the capillary blood vessels और nearby extracellular matrix पे जाके काम करता है, उसकी basement membrane को destruct करता है, which leads to hemorrhage. Along with that, ये वाला जो type B venom है, this molecule cleaves the fibrinogen molecule which inactivates it, thereby rendering it incapable of participation in the coagulation cascade, decreasing the body's ability to create the clots that would help halt the bleeding induced by capillary breakdown. तो पहले तो ये हेमरेज प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, कैपिलरी ब्रेकडाउन कर रहा है, इसके साथ साथ जो फाइब्रिनोजन मॉलिक्यूल होता है ब्लड में जो कि हेल्प करता है इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ क्लॉटिंग और कोगुलेशन, उस मॉलिक्यूल पे जाके एक्ट करता है, इस मॉलिक्यूल पे जाके ये टॉक्सिन उसको ब्रेक करता है, उसको इनएक्टिवेट कर देता है, जिसकी वजह से ब्लड क्लॉटिंग कोगुलेशन प्रोसेस कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाता एंड विच लीड्स टू मोर ब्लीडिंग. तो जो साइट ऑफ बाइट है या साइट ऑफ एक्शन है वहां पे एक तो ब्रेकडाउन भी हो रहा है, along with that bleeding will not be able to stop because there is no clotting process happening या coagulation का process halt हो गया. So hemotoxins basically क्या करते हैं? They keep the bite wound from healing. तो वहां जहां पे भी बाइट हुआ है, जहां पे स्नेक बाइट हुआ है, जहां पे वूंड बना है या जहां पे भी ये टॉक्सिन को बॉडी एक्सपोज हुई है, वहां पे कभी वूंड हीलिंग नहीं होगी क्योंकि वहां पे क्लॉटिंग नहीं बन रहा है एंड विच विल लीड टू इंटरनल ब्लीडिंग एंड हेमरेज. सो हीमोटॉक्सिन्स के इफेक्ट की वजह से नेक्रोसिस या सेल डेथ भी हो जाती है जहां पे बाइट होता है. सो विच इज व्हाई द स्किन अराउंड अ टिम्बर रैटल स्नेक बाइट अपीयर्स ब्लैकेंड. तो जहां पे भी आप टिम्बर रैटल स्नेक बाइट देखोगे, I have also shown you in the picture, the skin around it becomes black because वहां पे सेल की डेथ हो जाती है because of the hemotoxins. Now coming to the type C venom. Type C venom is also seen in some timber rattlesnakes, but it is a comparatively weak venom. And this toxin is weak and it sometimes lacks neurotoxic या hemorrhagic properties. नहीं भी होती है type C venom. Now the medicinal uses of this Crotalus horridus medicine. Basically हमें पता चल गया है कि इस बेसिक ड्रग का बेसिक एक्शन क्या क्या है. So it is basically neurotoxic drug. It is basically hemotoxic. मतलब जहाँ पे हेमरेज हो रहा है, जहाँ पे ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, जहाँ पे न्यूरोमस्कुलर ट्रांसमिशन नहीं हो रहा है, जहाँ पे पैरालिसिस है, बेसिकली इन्हीं चीजों में इस मेडिसिन को यूज करेंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि ये मेडिसिन रॉ फॉर्म में या टॉक्सिक फॉर्म में यही सिम्टम्स प्रोड्यूस करती है एंड दिस इज हाउ होम्योपैथी वर्क्स. होम्योपैथी वर्क्स ऑन सिमिलिया. तो कोई भी मेडिसिन जिस सिम्टम्स को प्रोड्यूस करती है वो मेडिसिन उन्हीं सिम्टम्स को या उसी टाइप की प्रॉब्लम्स को ठीक करती है, ये हमें पता है. सो सिमिलरली अभी तक हमने जो उसका फार्माकोलॉजिकल एक्शन स्टडी किया है उसी को अप्लाई करेंगे टू अंडरस्टैंड द मेडिसिनल यूजेस, जिसमें फर्स्ट इज हेमोरेजिक डायथिसिस और टेंडेंसी टू ब्लीड. बहुत लोगों में देयर आर मेनी पेशेंट्स हु हैव दिस टेंडेंसी टू ब्लीड. सो इन such cases this Crotalus medicine, it helps to stop hemorrhage from any opening, particularly from when the nature of bleeding is slow and blood is deep red, thin and does not form clot easily, which I have already told you कि जहाँ पे हम स्टडी कर रहे थे hemotoxic effects of the venom और type B venom. Type B venom क्या करता है? एक तो bleeding produce करता है and does not let the blood clot, जिसकी वजह से blood red होगा deep red and it will be flowing freely, there will be no clots. So उसी टाइप की प्रॉब्लम अगर हमें किसी पेशेंट में मिलती है, हम वहां पे क्रोटालिस अप्लाई करेंगे और then these problems will be solved. Okay, so this homeopathic remedy is prescribed to treat septicemia accompanied by hemorrhaging, wherein the disintegration of RBCs or the red blood cells is so intense that the liver is besieged resulting in the commencement of severe health conditions. So रेमेडी बेसिकली वहां प्रिस्क्राइब होती है जहां पे रेड ब्लड सेल्स डिसइंटीग्रेशन या ब्रेकडाउन की वजह से हैमरेज हो रहा है विच इज लीडिंग टू सेप्टिसीमिया, जहां पे लिवर भी इन्वॉल्व हो गया है. इन सारी सिचुएशंस में क्रोटालिस वर्क्स वेरी नाइसली. In addition, Crotalus horridus is also used to treat conditions like sepsis, jaundice, and total collapse. Sepsis के बारे में अभी बताया मैंने आपको. Jaundice is a condition where the skin turns yellow or icteric because of involvement of liver. So, इसकी वजह से Crotalus horridus it helps a lot in such cases. Occasionally, Crotalus horridus is also given to patients who have swelling all over the body. For instance, in cases of blood poisoning and liver failure. So, edema बहुत ज़्यादा mark produce करता है Crotalus bite. So that is why अगर overall edema, overall swelling अगर body में है because of blood poisoning or because of liver failure, Crotalus is also given to such patients. Next use is throat infections. So, homeopathic remedy Crotalus horridus is effective for conditions like inflammation or contagion of the throat. जहाँ पे भी infection है, inflammation है throat में, वहाँ पे भी ये medicine बहुत अच्छा काम करती है. In situations of tonsillitis and laryngitis, basically अगर ये conditions produce कर रही है piercing pain in the throat along with cough. When affected by such conditions, the patient experiences piercing pain of the throat and it frequently occurs together with a desiccated irksome cough. So अगर throat pain है, tonsillitis है, laryngitis है along with pain, piercing pain in throat with cough, here we can think of Crotalus horridus. It works effectively. Tender or aching throat, अगर आपको टेंडरनेस है या थ्रोट में पेन हो रहा है, इज अनदर टिपिकल सिम्टम related to the use of Crotalus horridus. In such cases, the sore throat is related to problems of swallowing anything. बहुत बार होता है ऐसे कि we have this sore throat, aching throat, painful throat, where we are not able to swallow anything. Specifically, not able to swallow liquids. अगर solids not able to swallow, then there are other medicines, mostly lacases. And if sore throat problem with not able to be swallow anything, especially liquids, then we can think of Crotalus horridus. Next important medicinal use of this Crotalus is heart disorders. Crotalus horridus is the appropriate remedy for administration in instance of partial or total collapse after a bout of angina or heart attack. Heart attack हुआ, एंजाइना का कोई एंजाइना का अटैक हुआ और उसके बाद बॉडी पार्शियली या टोटली कोलैप्स हो गई है, उस केस में क्रोटालस इज एन अप्रोप्रिएट रेमेडी. इन सच केसेस व्हाट द पेशेंट experiences, patient may experience debility, trembling feeling of the heart, and he may become unconscious. In addition, the patient may demonstrate extreme unwillingness to make any movement, owing to a sensation that something is about to explode beneath the breastbone. So basically, angina या heart attack के बाद body में partial या total collapse हो गया, patient experiences very much debility, बहुत weakness experience कर रहा है patient, trembling feeling है heart में घबराहट फील हो रही है, shivering feeling हो रही है और patient unconscious हो गया है. अलॉन्ग विद दैट पेशेंट को अगर आप कह रहे हो कि वो मूव करे थोड़ा सा भी, तो वो एक्सट्रीमली अनविलिंग टू मूव, बिल्कुल भी मूव नहीं करना चाह रहा है, बिकॉज उसको एक सेंसेशन हो रही है. सेंसेशन ये हो रही है कि देयर इज समथिंग बिलीव द ब्रेस्ट बोन यानी जो हमारा स्टर्नम है उसके बीनीथ कोई ऐसी चीज है जो अभी एक्सप्लोड कर जाएगी. अंडरस्टैंड? सो सच सेंसेशन द पेशेंट में एक्सपीरियंस, एंड if these symptoms are there, you can very well prescribe Crotalus horridus. It is also much use in cases of stroke because I have already told you कि Crotalus का neurotoxic action. So stroke is also related to the nervous system. Crotalus horridus is often given to a patient in case of extreme debility or total collapse following a stroke. बहुत ज्यादा वीकनेस फील हो रही है या पेशेंट कंप्लीटली कोलैप्स हो गया एक स्ट्रोक के अटैक के बाद, वहां पे क्रोटालस फेराइटिस इज ऑफन गिवन. इन सच केसेस द पेशेंट में सफर फ्रॉम पैरालिसिस और डैमेज्ड फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द लंग्स व्हिच नॉर्मली अकर्स ऑन द राइट साइड. सो स्ट्रोक के अटैक के बाद पैरालिसिस हो गया है, लिम्स फंक्शन नहीं कर पा रहे, एंड मोस्टली अगर राइट साइडेड पैरालिसिस हुआ है तो वहां पर क्रोटालस होराइडस इट वर्क्स वेरी नाइसली. Along with that, patient may also undergo additional symptoms जैसे कि nose bleeding या retinal hemorrhage. So अगर nose bleeding है, retinal hemorrhage है, क्योंकि एक hemorrhagic medicine है क्रोटालस, तो वहां पे भी in such cases also क्रोटालस होराइडस works very nicely. Next use is in skin disorders. Skin basically disorders वही है जैसा ये skin पे symptoms produce करता है after a bite. So there is swelling, there is discoloration, the skin is tense and it shows every tint of color. जैसे मैंने बताया था purple, black, yellow, blue, तो ये सारे colors अगर किसी skin symptom में आ रहे हैं with excruciating pain, बहुत ज्यादा pain, vesiccation, vesicles form होना, छाले पड़े हैं जहाँ पे, yellow color of the whole body, great sensitiveness of skin of right half of the body. This crotalis is basically a more affectionate towards the or more tendency towards the right side. So yellow color क्यों हो रहा है body का? Because there is breakdown of RBCs which may lead to icteric situation or yellowish discoloration of the whole body. Then there is purpura hemorrhagica, which is because of the hemorrhage, the purple colored spots appear on the skin. It can be given in hemorrhage from every part of the body. Pustular eruptions जहाँ पे pus form हो रहा है, ऐसे eruptions जो pus form कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे भी हम क्रोटालस होराइडस बहुत के लिए थिंक कर सकते हैं. Insect stings, insect bites के केस में, पोस्ट वैक्सीनेशन इरप्शंस, अगर वैक्सीन कराने के बाद बच्चों में इरप्शंस हो रहे हैं एंड दे आर ऑफ दिस कलर और दिस टाइप with swelling, with discoloration, with extreme pains, you can think of crotalis. Lymphangitis, septicemia, boils, carbuncles, eruptions, basically वो eruptions जहाँ पे which are surrounded by पर्पलिश मॉटल स्किन एंड इडीमा, जहां पे भी पर्पलिश स्किन है, पर्पल कलर की स्किन है, मॉटल्ड है और इडीमा है, स्वेलिंग है, where there is sore sensation which is relieved by pressure. अगर सोरनेस है और प्रेशर से आराम मिल रहा है, you can think of crotalus horaidus. So in such skin disorders also crotalus horaidus is used. Next important use of this medicine is in cases of cancers, mostly in stomach cancers, but it is used by many scientists. The researches are going on. It is seen to be helpful in cases of cancers otherwhere also. Cancer of the tongue, cancer of the stomach, if these symptoms match up. Because obviously homeopathy works on similia. So symptomatology is the most important criteria. Okay. So now in cases of stomach cancer, there is intolerance of clothing around the stomach. अगर patient stomach के आसपास tight clothing या clothing बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पा रहा है, he is unable to retain anything, मतलब कुछ भी खा रहा है और वो पेट में रुक नहीं रहा. There is violent vomiting of food, bilious vomiting, vomiting of blood, मतलब बहुत violent vomiting हो रही है जो भी खाया था उसकी, या bilious vomiting है या blood की vomiting. Specifically, patient cannot lie on the right side without vomiting dark green matter. अगर right side पे लेटा तो वो dark green matter, कुछ dark green color का substance bile को vomit करेगा ही करेगा. Even black या coffee grounds vomiting, जैसे कॉफी को आप ग्राउंड करते हो तो ग्राउंडेड कॉफी जो होती है जिस तरह की दिखती है उस टाइप की वॉमिटिंग होगी उसको. सो पेशेंट कैन नॉट लाई ऑन द राइट साइड. कैंसर ऑफ स्टमक विद वॉमिटिंग ऑफ ब्लडी स्लाइमी म्यूकस. देयर इज ट्रेम्बलिंग, फ्लटरिंग फीलिंग बिलो द एपिगैस्ट्रियम. अगर सीएस स्टमक के केसेस में जहां पे ब्लडी वॉमिटिंग है, स्लाइमी म्यूकस निकल रहा है, एक सेंसेशन है, फ्लटरिंग फीलिंग है, ट्रेम्बलिंग सेंसेशन है बिलो द एपिगैस्ट्रियम, क्रोटालस वर्क्स वेरी नाइसली. there is ulceration of stomach. So not only in CA, but also in ulcers of stomach, Crotalus and these symptoms match up, where there is dark green vomiting or bilious vomiting. वहाँ पे भी Crotalus works very nicely. And gastritis which is related to chronic alcoholism. अगर gastritis है chronic alcohol habit की वजह से, there also Crotalus works very nice. So these are some basic uses of this medicine, but as we all know, homeopathy is applied symptomatologically. So जहाँ पे भी जिन भी पेशेंट्स में, जिन भी डिसऑर्डर्स में हमको इस टाइप के सिम्टम्स मिल रहे हैं, जहाँ पे न्यूरोटॉक्सिक है, जहाँ पे हैमरेज हो रहा है, जहाँ पे स्ट्रोक पैरालिसिस हो रहा है, इन सब सिचुएशंस में हम क्रोटालिस को यूज कर सकते हैं. So that's all about the pharmacological action of Crotalus from my side. Please go through, and if you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to contact me, to speak to me, to clear your doubts. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, stay home, stay happy.